What's up guys? Prodan here, bringing you, as requested, my AE86 tuning guide. I've actually been hard at work on this, and indeed learning how to make a fine-tuning formula which can be applied to other rear-wheel drive cars as well. Now, I think I'm ready to finally show the fruits of my labors, so here we go. Now, what I focused on when making this build was lightness, because being lightweight is the biggest advantage a driver can have. You see, people who often just add power onto power in order to drift, often forgetting that you have to make a car, that you can make a car just as powerful by lightening it as you would just by adding on power, because there's a little thing called power to weight ratio. Which is why, as you can see, I've upgraded the intake manifold, the exhaust, other upgrades as well to reduce the weight of the car, which this allows the car to be just as powerful while also balancing off being lightweight, making it a mean racer. Also, don't forget to upgrade the cams, engine block, and the flywheel. These are very important for drifters in order to effectively transfer your weight through the corners, and I can guarantee that. Alright. For platform and handling, it's all pretty much upgraded. I have used the roll cage in this tune. The roll cage and reinforcements are often overlooked when tuning your car because it adds a lot of weight. However, it makes up for this by being significantly improving transitional oversteer, and it is especially necessary on the naturally lightweight and tail-happy AE86. And so it is. Alright. Moving on then. Clutch upgrade for reduced weight and shifting. Transmission upgrade. Sports transmission to adjust the final drive. Race drive line for transitional oversteer. And the race differential. Very important that. Now tires. For this car I don't normally upgrade it so much, but this car really needs it, especially front tire width. Don't normally upgrade that so much, but it really does need it on this car. So, but moving on now, rims. You need to go with the most lightweight rims you can get. And there's a bunch of them in this. There used to be not so many of them in the original Horizon, which is nice. So this means a lot more better selection of rims now. But it's always best to go with the ones that are the most lightweight. And now, tire width. I went for the second sized upgrade because upgrading it too much means the tires won't flex and they won't grip the road, which means you won't transition much weight through the corner. You'll be able to drift around easily, but you won't transfer weight well, which means you won't corner well. So this tune is to make it useful online, not only online but also to be able to drift online and drift well. It's the main goal of my tunes. Really am proud of this one. Also, you can go to the shop and actually buy this tune. I have it listed right here. So you can, if you're lazy, you can go ahead and buy it right there. Give me a little money. Yes. Anyway, moving on now to the fine tuning. This is the juicy stuff right here. Now for tire pressure, I normally go with this exact setup for all my cars. I don't change it around at all, really. Most of the other stuff I can adjust to the car, but that I keep steady. And I adjusted the final drive a bit to make it to my preferences. You can have your own. It really depends on if you like shorter or longer gear ratios. And for the camber, I always go with 2.5 on the front camber and negative 0.5 on the rear. This allows for controllable oversteer and makes it a lot easier to be able to control your car. And tow on the front. I don't normally upgrade the tow at all. You're normally supposed to leave it alone, but this car really needs the tow on the front a little bit because that really helps it maintain stability in a straight line and when exiting a drift. Although if you upgrade it too much, it will affect your turn-in and transitional oversteer. And the front caster, upgrade all the way because that allows you to have more stability while also having more camber. Now, front anti-roll bars, always upgrade it to 6.5 for front wheel drive cars. Any higher and the will be prone to snap back into line when you're racing, which is deadly, and it'll cause you to hit many a trees, which I have done, I admit. And the rear, you just keep the same, which I have done here, and keep stock. And for the springs, you will want to get it up into the 3/4 of a range to the top. I normally have it around in between 550 to 590, but that depends varying on the car, but you want it to have it up in between the 3/4 mark, and the ride height, always got to lower that down all the way, because of course that improves transitional oversteer. And now front springs, rebound stiffness, I normally like to have this in between 9.0 and 9.5 depending on the car, unless it's a supercar in the S2 class, then it's going to be in 10.5 or whatever. And for bump stiffness, you want to have it in between 7.0 and 8.0. And this really is very important, because there's a lot of bumps in Forza Horizon 2 and a lot of off-road courses. So if you don't get this right, you're going to definitely not have a fun time. And arrows, you'll always want to go for most cornering. Always upgrade all the way to cornering when you can. It doesn't really cut off that much top speed, and it helps out so much. And braking force, some cars isn't necessary, but on this one you can see it actually does help a bit. And you can get that down to 119 feet from 0 to 60 just by adding that, and also improves transitional oversteer, adjusting it to the rear. And finally, the differential. Acceleration, I like to have it in between either 80 or 85% depending on the car. For this one, it's gonna need to have some angle to it when you drift, so it's gonna be 85%. And for deceleration, I always keep that at 75% stock. And that's it for fine tuning. Now, to show you the car in action. This is the fun part right here. And of course it is raining, which means it's going to be super slippery out there. Let's get some music going. I think I will leave you to it now. Enjoy the driving, and thanks again for watching.